Let's talk about Pierre Koffmann and that kind of heroic kind of dish you created, which went completely nuts. Like, talk me through about what that was like working with him. What did you learn?
Well, Pierre has been one of our biggest supporters from when we started. He was like, it was a crazy moment when I saw him and Richard Vines come in to Heston Street, and it was obviously like cooking for Pierre Koffmann. It was like, this was before, I think even before it was a second lockdown. I mean, and then he has come back for me, it's one of the biggest points of pride that he comes to eat in the restaurant, because he always says the season is on point. So other people are saying chips are too salty, but Pierre loves it. But
Put that through your AR machine, mate.
Yeah, he likes chef seasoning. So I think he likes the bold flavors, and he's also he's just a fantastic. Anyone who's met Pierre knows he's very passionate about the next generation coming through. Which is just an amazing thing to see. Like, he's still obviously really switched on, active, and he always leaves he'll always give you one little pointer after his meal.
So what are some of those?
Like the suet pastry that we made on one of our original desserts was too coarse and it was too overworked. The cheese board on the last time was cold. So there's always a little thing that he'll give us a pointer to work on. And with the chicken head pie, it was exactly the same. We went through a development process with him. But what was so in Gaskin, where Pierre comes from, the idea of doing the stuffed chicken head or duck's neck or something like that is just not foreign at all. It's like Pierre ate the chicken head and then took apart the beak, and there's just a neat little pile of bones left. So he does live and breathe that. The trotter is that dish because he is that chef. He does relish in using the whole animal and different ways. So to be honest, it's one of the biggest points of pride in my career is collaborating with him, to be quite honest. He's just a legend. He's just such a good guy.
And who are some other sort of, obviously you work with Ash, who are some other people that have, because what I'm trying to understand is you've got this, you're trying to bring people through, but who sort of helps you, and have you taken those little nuggets and then you can sort of, be the conduit to pass it on to the next wave of restaurateurs?
Your dad?
Slim pickings.
For me, I only worked at dinner, so full transparency. I've had one, 4.5
I think
years at dinner, which was Ashley.
What was that like though? What did you learn from Ashley?
The thing is, by the
systems.
When we were there, the issue was it was so
set up.
It was so well set up at dinner that you're learning the system, and I think that probably is likely. It's formulaic in its approach, and what I appreciated was the consistency and the attention to detail. But
what are some of those systems?
It's unbelievable.
Well, just the checking process, the signing, thinking recipes off. I'd never seen that before. You make something, you take it to your senior chef on duty to get it checked. Sign off the quality effectively. But I'd never seen that before. It's probably pretty standard around most high-end restaurants, but I hadn't worked in a restaurant of that caliber before. And it's about understanding why they're going through the process. And actually, I think somewhere like that, you have to work there for a good amount of time to fully understand why they're doing things, rather than just be, oh, that's shit, why have I got to do this? And just trying to get around it. You've got to fully embrace it.
Make a cheese sauce. You have to get the roux checked. So you have to get the coloured stage of the roux and make sure that it's the right consistency. You'd be running around with a cup with a little plastic spoon to try and find a sous chef. And it's a big old hotel. And then you'll get the cheese, you'll get it checked again when you've added the cheese and the ultra-tex, and then you'll get the finishing checked at the end. And then it gets tasted again before service, and then it gets tasted again before it goes out to the customer. So you're talking 5 levels of checks. And
what would you guys do now?
We do a check every day religiously of everything that's.
So that's 5 before it's even got.
But with dinner, it was so vigorous and so.
The thing is, it's like you're taking what you learn and you're applying it to your own style. Yeah. For us, now it's now we're obviously we're a bit more mature and we've got different time restraints and whatever. But now it's very much if someone brings something to me, I'm like, what do you think, chef? Because
how are you? What do you think?
What do you know?
Trying to get into that.
You're bringing me this little cup, and it's got, I don't know, let's just say I've got my gravy for Sunday in here, and it's got little whatever, and they're like, chef, can you taste this? And I take it. I can guarantee 9 times out of 10, they haven't tried it themselves. So it's about being like, what do you think? What do you think it needs? And they trace it and they go, oh, I think it needs some salt. And you go, there you go. You've already answered your own question before coming to me. So it's about empowering them to develop their own skill set. And I'm merely, the other sous chefs, the other head chefs, whoever it may be, we're merely there to guide them and make them better and mentor them. So but it's taking that and learning it. And then you get inspired by them. Opening that window for creativity. That if those are the guys, I'm not the one doing all the prep anymore. You know, we have too many chefs. Like, I can't control every single thing. So you rely on their knowledge and their skill set and their passion to ask the question sometimes. And sometimes by someone with no experience or limited experience asking a question that might seem so basic about a preparation, you can sometimes develop that.
Yeah, I believe the smart answer lies in the dumb question. It's just so many people are scared to ask dumb questions. What are some questions that you like, other than like,
some
how
of them
are
aren't
you?
necessarily
What
dumb,
do you
but like
think?
one that blew my mind recently this might be normal to other people, but I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
We make mushroom parfait, you know, one of the most popular dishes in the restaurant. Make a fucking numeric shit ton of it. We have always done it in a bog standard classic parfait way, which is into a terrine mold, into a bain-marie in the oven with foil over the top, cook it to whatever temperature it needs to go to, and then take it out. And then we had one of the junior sous chef working with us recently, and he was like, "Why are you doing it like that? Like, I've always done it like this. Can we try that?" And I was like, "All you do is you basically pour it into a tray and steam it." And I was like, we were like, "Yeah, try it." And it was like absolutely perfect. And I was like, "Why the fuck has no one else ever thought of that?"
Yes.
You can get inspiration, you can learn, you can develop.
Yeah, and
from within
typically
the
when-
It's like bottom up leadership. I think that the other one which the
Just
Devonshire
asking the
did is like they were doing shots. They don't serve shots at the Devonshire, and he was like, Osh was like, I think someone was like, why the fuck every time we do a shot, everyone's absolutely off their nut, and it kind of ruins the sort of slow getting pissed up sort of vibe. So they just don't do it, but that's a bottom up thing. And I think it's like, as you say, it's like, well, the mushroom parfait, it's like, well, let's just steam it. You know, any other of those little nuggets.
Quite often you get things done by people doing something wrong. And you might be like, what the fuck have you done to that? It's quite nice, though. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. It does happen regularly. Like, you might mix two sauces together by accident. You'd be like, what have you done? It's really delicious, but what the fuck is it?
Yeah.
Like, that's not on the menu.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks to your e-com and accounting software. It's helped islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.